Go for it. From Centennial High School tonight, it's time for the Section 7A boys lacrosse final between the second seed Chisago Lakes and the top seed Centennial. Good evening, everyone. I'm Bill Hupp, alongside my fellow commentator, Blythe Whaley. And it's Chisago Lakes and Centennial. These two teams met in the semifinals last year. Centennial being upset by Chisago Lakes 12-11. Blythe, obviously the Cougars, hoping for a different result this year.
Yeah, and that's what the coaching staff for the Cougars was telling me before the game, was just that is what their focus has been on, making sure that these guys know to forget about last year. Don't think about that coming into today. It's a new year, and that just brings new tactics coming up, and a lot of people are different on the Centennial Cougars side. So they're excited for what this new season can bring. Yep,
no question. They face a dangerous Chisago Lakes team, led by a couple senior attackmen in Henry Reedy and Jacob Willman, going to Florida to play D2 lacrosse next season, and we'll get to their statistics. But Centennial coming off a dominant 13-4 win over Duluth in the semifinals, and the Cougars picking the right time of year, Blythe, to play their best lacrosse.
Yeah, exactly. When you're pushing into the playoffs and you're finally starting to peak, on both sides, the coaching staff was just talking about how do you peak at the right time. And they've really been focusing on that this season to make sure they've taken care of those little things that come playoffs, they're ready to go. And it seems like both of these teams are in a good position. It's going to be a tremendous battle just because of that. They're both ready.
Now, Blythe, you were an athletic standout in high school and in college. What's the mentality like when you know that you could be playing your last game ever in a high school uniform on your home field?
You know, you think about just how much nerves and what that can bring, and a lot of weight on your shoulders. And I feel like these guys, how can you go out there and really, in high school sports, how do you just have fun? Because you play the best when you're having fun. And coaches throughout the seasons of a lot of different sports that we've covered this year have just been telling me that their athletes have played the best when they're having fun.
Mason Messon-Comer and Sam Lewis doing battle. And Centennial wins the opening draw. Sammy Rodriguez goes to work on the offensive end. Rodriguez, 5 goals and an assist in the semifinal win over Duluth. He rolls it out of the box to A.J. Carls, and the Cougars go to work offensively, wearing the white, red, and black with the shiny silver helmets. Centennial and Chisago Lakes in the all green with the gold lettering and numerals. Rodriguez attacks down the alley. Gets it, and a tight angle shot is scooped up and saved by senior netminder Brent Zaruba. Zaruba played in this game last year. The section final, Chisago Lakes advancing in overtime in their first game to the first state tournament in their program history. Blythe, you and I were on that call. That game was at Spring Lake Park, and it was a dandy between Chisago Lakes and Blaine.
Yeah, you think about just, again, this Chisago Lakes team hasn't been around for that long, just dates back to 2018. And so the coaching staff was telling me that, you know, a lot of these guys know each other. They've had to play together throughout the years, and so now having to go up against each other in a big game like this.
Spinning move inside by Hunter House, and he gets it out to Nick Helland, who backs it up against the short stick midi in A.J. Carls. Rodriguez switches on to him. Helland still has it, left-handed cradle. Big physical defense out there for Centennial. Cougars have 3 Division I commits in their starting lineup. Rodriguez, Noah Berger, and Matt Everson. The flag's down on the field, so Chisago Lakes being very deliberate and patient on offense. We've got a loose door in the booth. Don't want that blowing down.
Definitely not.
As Helland flips it off, and now it's up top for Colton Bergquist. That flag has been down for the better part of a minute, right near the 30-yard line. The Chisago Lakes faithful applauding the patience of their team. Bergquist attacks down the alley, gets a shot, and scores! Colton Bergquist scores 2 minutes and 10 seconds into this first quarter.
How awesome. I mean, you saw the Cougars go down. They attacked. They had their opportunity on net, but Chisago Lakes, when they finally got the ball, man, they really brought it, and they stayed in that offensive attack to make sure that they broke down the defense to allow this goal to happen. But good job by the Wildcats putting themselves in that position to get it done.
Obviously, the penalty still maybe it doesn't take effect. I thought it did, but no one in the box, so rule changes. You know, hard to keep track of. Centennial scoops up the loose ball, but it's Chisago Lake's ball, so the Wildcats have won the 2 opening face-offs, and now they go to work on the offensive end. Penalties waived off. Sorry, Blythe.
No, I was just going to say, this is something that, again, the Cougars, they had to wipe off what last season brought them, of course, losing in the playoffs, but now they just had a goal scored on them. So how do they, again, have that, you know, the dry erase board or what have you to quickly let go of that and play just to rise to the occasion?
Maddox Olson tried to feed a pass down low, and it split all of his fellow attackers and goes out of play. So it's Centennial ball. And that's something that you and I both had a chance to talk to Mark Norby before the game, the head coach for Chisago Lakes, and he talked about the fact that possession and ball control is going to be critical. Rodriguez lowers his shoulder and then has the ball dislodged, but a flag flies on Logan West. And we have the Chisago Lakes faithful right below our broadcast position, so you can tell when they disagree with the call, but the slash is the ruling. It's amazing how quickly these teams can transition from offense to defense.
Yeah, and it's certainly a factor in this game of who's going to be able to score. You just think about how quickly teams are able to transition to what they thought was that run on the other team to all of a sudden their goalie's really having to just take it and make sure he's on his A game.
Brol Sherman, one of the best names you'll hear, gives it. There's a shot and a score, and it's Logan Adams, the sophomore attackman, his 14th of the season for Sherman, his 17th assist. Nothing fancy about that, just good old-fashioned power.
Yeah, I loved even just, you think about the celebration, those guys coming up, the chest bump. You need to get excited, your team. How do you push ahead? Because right now it's just back to square one, even, 1-1. And you just think about, if you can get your team riled up about scoring, it's only going to help continue those to roll in.
And those low to high shots are so hard to save. No one got out to Adams. Adams actually has taken the only 2 shots of the game for Centennial. And again, Chisago Lakes wins the faceoff. They're 3-0 in the faceoff right now. 8:50 and counting to go in the opening quarter here from Cougar Stadium. A spot in the state tournament on the line. And we already know there's going to be some dynamite teams in the state tournament, including Stillwater, Benilde St. Margaret's, Chanhassen, and one of these 2 teams. Good team defense to knock it free as Matt Everson was involved. The long pull bound for Loyola of Maryland gets shoved out of bounds, however, at midfield, and the ball turns back over to the Wildcats. So they go to work on offense with Hunter House. Of course, Brol Sherman, even though that's a great name, Aristotle Phillips on the end of Chisago Lakes. So Colton Bergquist takes it behind net. He's watched by Captain Reese Littlefield. Bergquist twisting and turning and has it dislodged. Centennial defense really picking up the physicality in the early going.
And you think about, in the playoffs, that does become even more of a factor than it is all season. Sometimes that physicality can really, you know, mess with the other team's head, just of who's really pushing them off and getting them kind of riled up.
Caden Nealon gets a shot off. That was wild. Well defended by Kai Hermanson. Goes out of play and turns back over to the Cougars. Just underway here from Cougar Stadium. 1-1 our score. 7.5 minutes to go first quarter. Give it to Noah Berger. He runs right through Nealon. And they're going to say Ward. And so it turns back over. Nealon definitely felt the physicality of Berger right there. They bring it into the offensive zone with Dylan Dassner. The junior midfielder, tough, sharp angle shot. It's going to have to be spectacular to beat Evan Lechner, the senior netminder. A couple senior goalies in this game in Lechner and Zaruba. And we'll be lucky, Blythe, if we get a game half as entertaining as the back and forth Chisago Lakes Blaine game we called last year.
True. My fingers are crossed. I hope we do.
And we don't have a truck here to lose power.
That is true.
To overheat. Yeah, it's a beautiful night for high school sports tonight, no question.
Yeah, you always love that too. I mean, for these athletes who, of course, they didn't have that 2020 season, and now some of these players, this could be their last game. And to be able to end on a note that the weather isn't playing a factor tonight is pretty great, regardless.
Rodriguez with a shoulder shake for Sherman, and he tries a little sharp angle shot. He faked low and went high, and he had the goalie beat, but he just missed the net. He scored one of those the other night, Blythe. I don't understand how he got it in from goal line extended. It was remarkable.
I know, sometimes those angles, you're just shocked and in awe of these guys who are out there, and you're like, okay, we'll take it. I don't know how they did it. But
yeah, especially from up here. It's just unbelievable as Rodriguez holds on the right wing. Watched by number 19, Maddox Olson. Rodriguez spinning back middle. Work near side for A.J. Carls, who had 2 goals in the semifinal win. Carls, a big hockey star for this Cougars team.
Yeah, you see a lot of crossover between hockey and lacrosse, and so pretty typical for players to be doing both. And
it's like hockey on 2 feet.
Exactly right, yeah.
Carls backs it out and dodges down the alley. He goes down, tries to flip it to Berger, but it goes out of play on the far side. And big number 22, Nick Helen, liking the physicality. And that's the thing. What I remember about Chisago Lakes last year is they had a big physical defense. And so they're not going to be afraid. Brendan Carr, wearing number 54, they're going to be willing to match Centennial's physicality. Chance here for Chisago Lakes, and that one flies the net. Jacob Willman attempting that shot. Still in the possession, however, of Chisago Lakes. And now this is where the Wildcats want to be patient and take care of the ball. Jump shot right at the net, and somehow Lechner makes the save. Inside of 5 minutes remaining in the first.
Yeah, you talked about the pressure a little bit, about just this is, which team's going to state, and you just see the goalies time and time again being able to get in that position and make those big saves.
And that can be the difference in a game like this, is which goalie is making the better save. As Rodriguez hits it far side. He'll play catch with Brock Carls, AJ's brother. Sammy Rodriguez down the right alley, jump shot, and that goes wide. Behind the net, in fact, as it whizzed past the right post.
But I like that he took the shot. Again, giving the opportunity and the possibility that that ball could go in. Sometimes you see teams not taking the opportunity when they did have an opening. I think he had an opening and just didn't get it on net.
No question about it. You have to, especially if you have backup, you have to take advantage. Sherman, a tight angle shot, and he does just that to give Centennial its first lead of the game. That was the sharp angle shot we talked about. He had one in the semis. He's got one in the finals. The fast fake shook up the defense a little and gave him just enough space to slip it by Zaruba.
And yeah, we just saw that shot moments ago go wide. Then they regroup, make sure they're still coming at them. And again, sometimes they're thinking maybe they're going to take a little while to set that one up, and right back at them, put it in the back of the net.
32nd goal to go along with 17 assists now on the season for the sophomore. He's one shy of a 50-point season in his sophomore campaign, and you can tell, Blythe, that kid has some serious stick skills.
Yeah, like I said, we're continually in awe of these guys out there, and it's cool that we still have so much time left of what other things we're going to get to see today.
Yeah, it's been a fast-moving first quarter. There's been lots happening, but only 2-1 on the scoreboard. Chisago Lakes able to pick it up in front of their own bench on the far side and dance away from trouble. That's Zach Carlson. Gets a touch, or almost gets a touch. This is actually Dylan Gassner. He'll take a shot, and that goes wide. Willman closest to it for the Wildcats.
Yeah, the goalie's still on their toes, having to be sharp because even though that one wasn't in the right position, it still was coming so fast.
Did you ever think about playing lacrosse, or was it not that big this time? There's a shot that goes bounce fly.
It's so tough. I'm the person who wished I could have played every single sport, but yeah, when my basketball season ended and went right into track, and even during track there was still soccer training that was coming up for this upcoming summer season, even before fall for high school. But it's crazy and to think about it. But yeah, no, I never thought about it doing it in college when I was playing the other sports, but in high school, you know, it would have been fun. I really wish I could have at least.
That's right.
I
forgot you did track, working on the speed for the other sports.
Yeah, it's always fun. Like I said, I'm glad I did it. First I didn't think that was going to be as much of a love as it became, because you're like, okay, you know, I like running when I'm, you know, playing stuff like this where you see these guys dodging, and man, the contact.
AJ Carl's D1's Hunter House enforces the turnover. They get it to Reese Littlefield at the logo. Littlefield for Adams. Ducks inside. Logan Adams challenges Zaruba, and he makes the save.
Yeah, great job for the senior back there to make sure he got in position, because, you know, right on him.
Lacrosse is the most fun when you have these sort of back and forth attempts on goal when it's in transition like that. We've finally got our first timeout, as I think one of the teams took a timeout to try to retain possession. That timeout coming with 1:53 to go in the first quarter. Impressed by the turnout from Chisago Lakes in their student section, but I suppose Chisago Lakes, you know, they want to support every opportunity they can and to make it stay.
Yeah, able to do it last year. You know, you kind of have that momentum, and seeing if you can do it again back to back. But I do like the neon that they're supporting today.
Yeah,
feels like summer.
Everyone's got the themes, and everyone, you know, sticks with them, and so yeah, the high school fashion trends always crack me up. Actually, I was very impressed. I did basketball this year for state, and retro jersey was the theme for Mankato East, I think. I was impressed. They had some good ones.
I know, it's always crazy to think about the coordination, everyone trying to get on the same page. With technology nowadays, way easier, but I'm just thinking it takes a lot to make sure everyone knows and is ready for it to happen.
Yeah, well.
That's why you see the whiteouts. That one's easy. Everyone has white.
Right, exactly. That's part of everyone's color, it seems like. Especially if you're at home. It'll be in the stick of Chisago Lakes, as I think they called timeout to retain possession. Mark Norby, an excellent coach, doing a tremendous job. Chisago Lakes coming in 12-3 on the season. They suffered 2 one-goal losses to Buffalo and Duluth. They also lost by 2 goals to STMA, who is playing for the Section 8 title tonight. Buffalo losing in the semifinals of their section to Chanhassen. And Duluth, of course, falling 13-4 to Centennial. Helen dancing around defenders on the doorstep, and they score!
Awesome connection between those guys. I always love the spin move that somewhat helps set that one up as he passes it to his teammate, but gosh, that one looked good, connecting right there in front of the net.
That was a pretty goal for Chisago Lakes to tie us at 2. Late here in the first quarter.
That's what you need to do. You need to make sure that the other team isn't getting too far ahead. You don't want to put yourself in too much of a hole. And right now, of course, they've been able to tie this one back up and only help, you know, what's happening in that mental battle is when you're sitting down, sometimes it can get to you, but anyone's game today.
Yeah, you have a feeling it's going to be like this all game. Centennial, off the false start, gets the ball, and you have to imagine that they'll probably try to hold for one shot. About 70 seconds remaining as Carls plays catch at the top with Rodriguez. Now sloppy from Centennial. It's a simple wing pass, and Chisago Lakes turns them over. They'll go through Zaruba in the crease. Always use that goaltender as an outlet. 22, Nick Helland has some serious stick skills. He assisted on the last play. And he's also not afraid of a shoulder barge. He's not afraid to have some contact. Stepping into one, and they whistle it wide. That was Jacob Willman, 40 goals and 32 assists on the season for Willman, bound for St. Leo in Florida next year.
Yeah, to go back to Helen for just a second, the senior, it's crazy you think about how many spin moves he just had to get up the field. Surprised he's not dizzy by the end when he gets up there, but gosh, he's doing a great job shimmying everyone off.
They knock it free and force a turnover on the clear. This is Willman again. Forces it through to Bergquist. The hits coming fast and furious here. And an entertaining first quarter. We couldn't have asked for much more than this. At the end of one here at Cougar Stadium, our score 2-2 Centennial and Chisago Lakes. Back with the second quarter in a moment here on North Metro TV.
North Metro TV News is your source for local stories. Highlighting the issues in your community, we bring you the news that's closer to home. Join us as we explore the stories all around us, every day at 2:30, 6:30, and 10:30.
The past comes alive at North Metro TV, where we can help you transfer your old videotapes, films, cassette tapes, record albums, and even photographs and slides to DVD and digital so you can enjoy them again. North Metro TV, bringing the past to life.
Winter.
Start of the second quarter here from Cougar Stadium. Bill Hupp alongside Blythe Whaley for the 7A final, and they score! Centennial with 2 seconds. I don't think that's quite right, but 2 seconds gone by in the second quarter. The speedy Cooper Larson making it 3-2 off the wings. He just flew in off the wings, scooped up the opening draw, and took it down like a flash.
Yeah, that is a great way to put it. It certainly was just like a flash because, you know, we almost missed it. You think about just how quickly these guys just made sure they got up the field and, you know, put it in before anyone could even see it coming.
This time, Chisago Lakes wins it. Pretty speedy player there in Maddox Olson. He fires it wide. Chisago Lakes closest to it. The two teams have obviously switched ends of the field. Lacrosse, the last sport to finish in high school. It's funny, everyone's sports calendar, because Illinois had the state title game last Saturday. I always think it's amusing when the different timelines that they're on. They start a little earlier and they finish a little earlier.
Yeah, it's weird. You think about it. It's like you think it could be lined up if it wanted to be.
Yeah, everyone's got a different calendar. As Reese Littlefield kicks it ahead, he'll chase after it. Littlefield tries to scoop it. He goes down, and a push with possession called as Brol Sherman comes back to help out for the Cougars. It's hard not to say Sherman's name without just saying Brol Sherman, the whole name. And in fact, John Beach for the Cougars took a timeout to retain possession. So something you see, Centennial or Chisago Lakes, I should say, did it in the first half. But I think because they were a little late to start the clock, that goal came at 2 seconds of the second quarter. I know Cooper Larson is fast. I don't think he's quite that fast.
Yeah, no, that is accurate. I know it's tough when you have a clock like that. You always think about it. It's always hard to be that person, just to make sure you're on your A game starting it.
Yeah,
I'm glad that's not my job.
Be paying attention. Maybe you're eating Skittles and it gets interrupted.
Yes, it would, or Cheetos and your fingers are all orange and you're like, I can't press the button yet. I gotta wipe them off and then press it.
Yeah, I don't want to get this dirty. Brol Sherman, the sophomore attacker for Centennial, the star of the first quarter, I should say, for the Cougars, with a goal and an assist, insisting on or being involved in both of the Cougars' opening tallies. Now they'll get it in the stick of Sammy Rodriguez, bound for Jacksonville. A lot of Florida lacrosse ties today.
I feel like everyone talked and they're all like, Florida just sounds nice.
Yeah,
and then they all started looking.
They made their commitments. Clearly they made them in the winter here.
Yes.
Sammy Rodriguez. Attacks middle, splits defenders. Bounce shot off the post. Comes all the way out to A.J. Carls. Now it's Noah Berger who tries to pick out the upper right-hand corner, and he fires it just wide. Berger likes that low to high shot. Logan Adams. Up top for Carls.
Yeah, it worked out well. I mean, the Cougars now, they're up by a goal. They can take their time, make sure they get that quality shot. Not crazy amount of wiggle room, but enough to let them set this up and try to add to that.
Carls tries to flip it to Berger. Goes all the way to Isaiah Ward. And the big nose tackle from the football team gets it out to Rodriguez on high. Very much like basketball in terms of the playing styles, these two sports. Rodriguez fires a quick shot and scores! Sammy Rodriguez had 5 goals in the semifinal win, and he's got his first goal of the night here with 10:04 to go before half.
Do you feel like he somewhat lulled the defense to sleep? They worked it around for a little bit, and again, that one was just such a bullet from range, and I almost didn't think he was going to take that shot when he did, and you're seeing it go right into the back of the net. I'm not surprised that the goalie wasn't quite ready for that.
And sometimes it's like hockey, you can give up a soft goal where you think you have that angle adequately covered and then you don't. Not that I ever scored those kind of goals when I played lacrosse. I was more of a hustle guy, defensive midi, but Chisago Lakes wins it. That bounce shot goes wide off the stick of Mason Messicomer.
But you think, too, now the Cougars are up by a couple goals. How can that help them even more so play loose? But it seems like these guys have been able to do so already early on.
Caden Nealon scored his 11th goal of the season late in the first quarter. He gives it up top for Helen. Maddox Olson with speed. Olson tries to feed Nealon behind the net, and it goes out of play. Turned over to Centennial.
Yeah, and you see that error just by Chisago Lakes, and you wonder if somewhat nerves now going down by a couple goals. You can see how fast they can score them, so that's not really an issue. But mentally, though, seeing that on the scoreboard could be tough.
Yeah, you never want to be sped up in lacrosse. That's like that. East Littlefield, and well defended by Nealon and number 35 Henry Reedy for Chisago Lakes. Reedy, a big, lanky attackman. Good stats for him, 44 goals and 25 assists. And then it's Cooper Larson, the speedster. He's already scored once today. Adams across for Sherman, and he whizzes it wide. I almost said whizzles. That's not a word.
That's what we like to do, though, in broadcasting. We find our own ways to say things.
That's right. Chisago Lakes does a nice job of hustling after it, and the Wildcats will clear. Sometimes it's as simple as stick up and then stick lift. A.J. Carl's doing his best there. Now it's Carls and Helland. How good stick lift from Carls. Lechner comes out of his net. He scoops the ball, and then he has his stick whacked out of his hands. But a whistle stops play.
They never had possession.
And so they gave Centennial the timeout. Now the Chisago Lakes fans said he never had possession, but a good timeout by John Beach with his goalie in trouble between two defenders.
Yeah, I thought he did a good job coming out and making sure that he made that decision, because sometimes when you're kind of in between, if you didn't fully commit to coming out to try to get that, it could have been tough. They could have been shooting right on him in that close range. So I think ultimately, not quite sure if he had full possession, but of course, at the end of the day, that's what they called it.
Yeah, I mean, if you only need a second. Yeah, I think it would be very funny if, like in soccer, you could call, like you could get it in the box and like call a timeout, and then you get a restart from the box.
Right there. Yeah, that'd be nice.
If like, as soon as you got in the box, the coach was like, timeout.
Yeah, that would definitely change things. That would be quite interesting. I know there's a lot of little things where I'm like, gosh, if different sports decided to, update the rules, and they're like, okay, this can now happen. Even if they changed the regulation size of the soccer field and made it even more quick action back and forth, it's so strange to me to think about the difference it would make.
Yeah, I was listening to an interesting podcast today about like ways to improve soccer.
So random.
From England.
I like it.
Yeah, there was some fascinating ideas. Back to action here as Sammy Rodriguez will lead the clearance for Centennial. Ducks his shoulder under the check of Reedy, and now because Reedy went offside, penalty goes down, and so Reedy says forget it. It only takes a step on that midfield line. So now Reedy comes over and is like, well, I may as well play defense since I'm going to the box anyway. They get it across to Isaiah Ward. So interesting how teams get ultra careful with the ball with the flag down. Broll Sherman attacks from behind X, feeds in front looking for Ward, all the way out to Rodriguez. Cross-face dodge for Rodriguez, top for AJ Carls. Carls decides to take a shot right into the stick of Brent Zaruba, so that draws the whistle, and Reedy jogs over to take a knee.
I thought possibly the Cougars were going to have an opportunity there, only because sometimes a play that gets messed up when that ball bobbled, it didn't quite go to who they thought it was going to be the intended target there in front of net. Sometimes that just, the confusion of it forces the goal to go in because they weren't quite thinking that player was going to or when they were going to shoot it. But of course it didn't. But those are the ones where I'm always kind of get on my toes, just waiting for possibly it to find its way in.
So Centennial with the extra man opportunity. They were 2 for 3 on the EMO in the semi. Behind for Sherman and X. Berger tries to sneak it inside the right post for a quick goal. A 5-2 Centennial lead. They have scored the last 3 goals.
Yeah, the Cougars surging ahead and really coming together. And it's going to be a tough battle for Chisago Lakes to not have this mental game start to interfere with what the trajectory is of the rest of this game. But the Cougars, how can you build off that? How can you continue to stay positive and just keep pushing ahead and, make that gap harder to come back from?
Centennial, after it was tied at 2-2 starting the second, Centennial has scored all 3 goals here in the second quarter. 5-2 our score as it turns back over on the far side to the Cougars. Kai Hermanson gets past Reedy. Everson scoops it up. Now Hermanson will get a touch in the box and settle, wait for reinforcements. Hermanson attacks down the alley, gets his hands free and then pulls it back. Well defended by Dylan Dassner. The top for Brock Carls. Adams. For Hermanson, cross-face dodge. shots and willing to dodge, but then go back top with Ward.
Like I told you early on, Coach Norby was telling me one of the things that his team's been working on this season has just been the communication on defense. Of course, you've seen some of those lapses with these goals that the Cougars have been able to put against them, but that's exactly, he's talking about them peaking at the right time, so I know that they can look to pull this together. We'll see if they do so here in the next few minutes.
Rodriguez's shot is scooped up by Berger. Back to Rodriguez at the top. Adams. For Berger, and he finds the back of the net. Second goal in less than a minute for Noah Berger. It's 7-2.
These are pure rockets. They are just flying away into the back of the net with, you know, it's almost flying through the back of the net, it seems like, and it bursts a hole in it just by how fast they're able to whip these balls into it. But I think, again, the Cougars, they're really building on this momentum, and you can tell that they are having fun on their home turf. And, you know, why not start celebrating for it to be a section final game? These guys, you know, they're having fun, Bill.
Chisago Lakes takes a timeout. Centennial has rattled off 4 straight goals. And I got a little over-enthusiastic there. Technically, that goal coming at 5:48. So it was a goal, it was a little less than 2 minutes that Noah Berger struck twice. Rodriguez now with a goal and an assist in this quarter. That was special from Noah Berger, who just wound up and absolutely rifled it past Aruba. And much like hockey, it's all about placement in lacrosse. And it's just hard to reach those spots if you can get enough power behind it. So Centennial have to love how they've been playing here in the second quarter. Blythe, how do they keep the momentum going here before half?
Yeah, I think it really starts with your team coming together and just making sure that you're going to keep this intensity high. You don't want to really start to settle into this game. And I think a lot of teams sometimes when they do get up to a lead, they kind of play on their heels. They try to think defensively. But what's been working for the Cougars is that they've stayed in the attack. They've kept the possession of the ball. And if they can continue to do so, I think it's going to be tough for Chisago Lakes to try to crawl back into this.
5:48 remaining before half. 6-2 our score. Centennial, after the score was tied 2 apiece starting the second, has scored 4 goals, 1 on the EMO. Noah Berger has 2 of them, and the Cougars have a 4-goal lead. Big win on the draw for Chisago Lakes. It's obviously something critical, and now Coach Norby will want to see a sustained possession, but just as I say that, turnover forced and in the stick of Cooper Larson. Larson pirouettes past Reedy and gets it into the box. No flag, so they let him play on. In the stick of Noah Berger. For Rodriguez out of the box.
They were too thrown by the pirouette that, that they had to let everything go.
Reedy's like, my goodness, the grace.
Yes.
How did he stay up? First time I've ever used pirouetted on a broadcast, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
They'll get it to X with Sherman. Rodriguez. Cross-face dodge, bounce shot, that goes high. Colton Bergquist, not easily intimidatable, if that's a word, but regardless, Chisago Lakes closest to it. Those all-important possession battles late. You can be closest to the missed shot or force the turnover. 10-man ride employed here by Centennial as Chisago Lakes gets it across and gets it into the box. Across for Reedy, and he whistles that wide.
But that's what Chisago Lakes needs to do. They need to be able to take these shots. They're down by 4 goals. What does that mean? And again, at some point in this game, time is going to be a factor.
Oh, it's Reedy to Wilman, and Chisago Lakes gets its first goal of the second quarter. Good little 2-man game behind the net between the 2 Chisago Lakes superstars, who will be competing against each other actually next season in the D2 Florida Conference. But Henry Reedy, assisted by Willman, makes it 6-3 Centennial. And the thing is, you know, a 3-goal lead in lacrosse is obviously easy to overcome. You can go on runs in a make it take it style as Chisago Lakes wins the draw here. This is a good start as Maddox Olson takes the short stick behind net. Olson comes out high. He hits the side of the post. They pick up and score! Caden Nealon was Johnny on the spot. His 12th of the season, and 2 goals in less than a minute for Chisago Lakes have cut the deficit in half.
What a way to start to make a comeback, Chisago Lakes. You know, they started to feel what that feels like to score again, and now you see them get 2 quick ones, and that makes the game look a lot different than it just did moments ago.
Sometimes you just need to see it go in the back of the net, right?
Yeah, it helps so much, I think. And when your whole team is on that same page, which after a goal it seems teams normally can do, see if they can do it again.
They win the draw once more. This time, though, Reese Littlefield forces the turnover. That's Reese Littlefield. Actually, Jake Robinson, the sophomore long stick midi, who forced the error. Littlefield walks past his defender. He's going to take a shot. He'll score! He had an assist in the semifinal, and the co-captain for Centennial, Reese Littlefield, the deep hole, gets a goal, and a big one at that, makes it to make it 7-4.
Yeah, Littlefield didn't make a little impact. It was certainly massive. You think about what that meant for just the momentum that Chisago Lakes had. It looked like they were going to come back down and score another one, Bill. We just mentioned that of just how quickly they were putting these in, but to get the stop, go to the other end, and then, you know, score again for your team and really stop Chisago Lakes right there.
It's so demoralizing when you let a deep hole score, because those are the big guys with the 6-foot poles. They're not supposed to be scoring. Chisago Lakes wins the draw once more with their long stick midi. And a flag comes flying. It's going to be on Logan Adams, as I believe he absolutely crunched. I think Adams with a blindside hit, perhaps. I looked away, to be honest, because the ball went away. There's an injured Chisago Lake Wildcat on the field, and he is shaken up.
Yeah, glad they got people tending to him. Hopefully everything's all right. But certainly, you know, you see some of these hits in these games, and it's sometimes tough just to think about what athletes have to go to in certain situations. Sometimes, like you said, if this was something that was blindsiding, it's tough to really be ready for that impact.
Yeah, and the reason we shouldn't even speculate if it was or not, but it could be a hit in lacrosse, because you can pass it and then be looking at where you're passing and not see the defender coming at you. So thankfully, the injured Wildcat number 28, Ashton Pearson, senior defender, is on his feet, so he seems to be okay. Logan Adams is on his knee in the penalty box. We'll see. I have to imagine this will be a non-releasable penalty. And so for those who don't know, that means that Chisago Lakes will have a man advantage, and no matter how many times they'll score, they do score. It's much like a 5-minute major in hockey, right, where it doesn't release. And so a chance here for Chisago Lakes. And now Centennial's defense put to the test here late first half. And the score right away, Big Maddox Olson, the junior midi, his 25th of the season, as he just stepped into a lefty laser from the right wing to make it 7-5.
Yeah,
now it does appear that, I'm sorry, Blythe, go ahead.
They keep this comeback train chugging along. Of course, you had that stop up by Centennial, but sometimes, you know, it takes to see one of your teammates get taken out. to really rev the team back up to come back down and score right away.
It does appear that Adams has been released, so we're back to even strength. But credit to Chisago Lakes and Maddox Olson for making them pay right away. 7-5, just inside 3 minutes to go here in the second quarter. How will Centennial respond, I should say? Push with possession, give it to the red and white.
What was that?
Yep, that was big for the Cougars, just to get possession back after having to
Step up,
put
defense!
the score down.
Roll Sherman gets in, step inside, his defender and scores as he goes tumbling to the deck. What a move for Brawl Sherman, his second goal of the game, his third point of the night. Goal number 33 on the season for Sherman. And Sherman just took the pass from Big Reese Littlefield, made a move. I'm going to give Littlefield an assist on that one. And just made a quick move and got it a step inside his defender. And once you get that defender on your back hip, as long as you can keep that stick out of their pathway, that's all he needed to do. A little quick stick pass Zaruba. That was an impressive play.
Yeah, we've seen so many today, and these guys and their coaches were exactly right. They're peaking at the right time, and that's why we're able to see some of these fantastic plays coming together, and these guys just continue to awe us throughout this one.
No shortage of goals. I mean, we're nearing the 15-goal mark. We're not even at halftime yet. 2:36 remaining here in the second quarter. Just as I was about to say that Chisago Lakes had scored 3 of the last 4 goals, they get one from Sherman in transition. And so it'll be Noah Berger and the Cougars going to work on the offensive end. Berger steps into one and scores! He's got a first half hat trick.
Holy smokes, the Cougars really are just coming out of their shell and just really taking over this game. We've seen them score plenty, but you know, they've come back from a couple of those Chisago Lakes goals that could have kind of put them on their heels if they overthought it. I think sometimes if a team comes down and scores on you a couple times, you really can start to second guess how you just got that lead if they're able to get it back and close to tails. But now you really push yourself 4 goals ahead. That's big.
Yeah, that's ties for the largest lead of the first half, and after Chisago Lakes have cut the deficit to 2, it's back to a 4-goal lead for Centennial as they get possession here with 2 minutes and 20 seconds remaining before half, and a 9-5 lead for the Cougars. Ball in the stick of Sammy Rodriguez, who backs it out and waits for his teammates from the box. Now they'll be content to just spread the Chisago Lakes defense out. Beautiful move inside for Berger, pout shot. Zaruba makes the save. Back out to Rodriguez, jump shot, and I think someone got a stick on it. Out of play. Sherman closest to it for the Cougars. Inside of 2 minutes remaining. Boy, would Centennial love to stretch this to a 5-goal lead before half.
And that's where Chisago Lakes is going to want to speed them up because, again, the clock, if they could come back, try to get another one before that time expires, that could be big for them, too, as they try to claw back in.
Rodriguez puts his foot in the ground, slips it to Berger, all the way through to Zaruba in the crease. Now it's Chisago Lakes' turn to try to possess the rock. 1:10 and counting to go. Passed up ahead to Hunter House. Nealon back to House. Nice little give and go right into the stick of Lechner. And with 55 seconds and counting to go, Lechner will spin away from trouble and begin the clearance. Always a good idea to get it to Reese Littlefield if you can.
But credit to Lechner to help get that ball away from him, and his time is flying away.
Ward able to knock his opponent in Maddox Olson out. Well defended, and Centennial, Chisago Lakes fans wanted a timeout from their coaching staff. Instead, Noah Berger goes to work, gets inside, Berger, bounce shot, fourth goal! The second quarter has been Noah Berger's, and it's the largest lead of the game now for Centennial. Four goals in this second period for Noah Berger. 28 now on the season, and Blythe, that's his 50th point of the year.
Yeah, these guys are juiced up, and you can tell that they're feeding off of this momentum, their team. Again, you have the home field advantage. How do you use it to help push you to state? These guys beat you last year, so to come back today, be playing so well against them, I'm sure they're all feeling really good.
10-5 our score. Clock has not started yet, though it should have. Now it's going.
Cheetos, telling you.
That's right. Cheetos and dots. I'm gonna guess dots. Carlson will just hold on to it as time expires here at Cougar Stadium. Noah Berger with 4 goals in the second quarter, and he has led the Cougars, who dominated that second period of play, outscoring Centennial by a count of 8-3. They head to the halftime break here in Circle Pines with a 10-5 lead over the second-seeded Wildcats. We'll be back with first half analysis and second half action shortly. This is Boys Lacrosse on North Metro TV.
North Metro TV News is your source for local stories. Highlighting the issues in your community, we bring you the news that's closer to home. Join us as we explore the stories all around us, every day at 2:30, 6:30, and 10:30.
The past comes alive at North Metro TV, where we can help you transfer your old videotapes, films, cassette tapes, record albums, and even photographs and slides to DVD and digital so you can enjoy them again. North Metro TV, bringing the past to life.
When times get dark, we can't see the help that's all around us. Let 211 be your guiding light for help with food, healthcare, and other resources.
211, how can I help you?
Call 211 or visit 211.org. 211, get connected, get help.
There's so many rewards in life. You coming into our home was one of the greatest rewards we could have ever had.
You know, it took 20 years and I got my third child who was 17 at the time.
It's so cool to watch the adult that you've become, and you really have done as much for us as you think we've done for you.
I'll be seeing you.
No, the thing I've missed the most during this entire time, this pandemic, has been you.
I love playing to a live audience. There's nothing like it.
The COVID-19 vaccines are going to help us all get back to the moments we miss.
It's totally normal to have questions. I did too.
That's why it's so important to get informed.
So ask your doctor and get the facts. It's up to you.
I want want to eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat apples and bananas?
Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
Eva Marie smoked 12,000 packs of cigarettes over 15 years. She quit, and now there's a new lung cancer screening that could save her life. You stopped smoking. Now start screening. No matter how much you smoked, early detection could save you. Talk to your doctor or learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Last week, Brandon met a girl on a dating app. One day after work, he finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being too pushy? Maybe it was too...
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving. I would love to go on a date. How does tonight sound?
Brandon tried to play it cool, but inside he knew. A girl so smart, so responsible. She must be a keeper.
Every day.
Millions of people are connecting.
And even though we're overcoming obstacles,
watching each other's backs,
and banding together,
we should still make an effort.
We should still make an effort
to get to know each other
on a deeper level. Father,
cosplayer,
mentor,
actor.
It's time we take a step forward.
It's time we take a step forward.
Come together
and discover
how accepting our differences
can make us stronger.
Wash your hands. Scrub them while you sing the song. Wash. Rub your hands and fingers and the places in between. Using soap and water makes your hands so clean. Wash your hands. Great job, you're almost done. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, now dry.
Wash your hands for 20 seconds, just like Elmo.
Cougar Stadium, the site of the Section 7A final between Centennial and Chisago Lakes, and the Cougars are 1/2 away from making it back to the state tournament. They got a 10-5 lead over the Wildcats. Bill Hupp and Blythe Whaley bringing you the call in what's become an annual tradition for us to do the Section 7 boys lacrosse final. But we love it. Centennial is playing very well. Noah Berger with 4 goals, and Brol Sherman with 2 goals and 2 assists in the first half to lead the Cougars. Wildcats win the opening face-off, and they go to work on the offensive end, wearing green, moving left to right. What do you think Centennial needs to do in this second half, Blythe?
Yeah, keep things rolling. As I was talking about earlier, if they could just stay and continue to attack instead of just rest on their glories, I think they're in good hands to take this one away.
Yeah, they got to see this one through. They draw the slide as Reese Littlefield comes over. Haven't heard as much from Matt Everson tonight, the Loyola-bound all-state defender. There's a jump shot, and Lechner makes the save. It's loose in front of the crease, and somehow it's thrown in as a flag comes flying. A blind shot by Caden Meelan. He has a hat trick in the game. I honestly think, Blake, that he just picked that up right outside the crease and flung it behind him into the net.
Whatever works. That's kind of the name of the game when it's in playoffs. You know, you're just trying to do whatever it takes to get a goal, and sometimes that means just, taking a shot, even if you're not looking where it's going.
Caden Nealon makes it 10-6, scoring 52 seconds into this second half. And Chisago Lakes may not have been how they drew it up, but it's exactly the kind of start they wanted.
But those are the types of plays that I touched on earlier. Sometimes it doesn't look like the exact play that you would think would be happening. And so he gave it a chance, and that's what works because they weren't expecting it.
Chisago Lakes wins another face-off, and this is how, it's kind of make it, take it. This is how you come back in these kind of games. Maddox Olson. Hands for Bergquist. Behind for Reedy. Tries to feed Meelan. And the loose ball is going to go out on the near side for a turnover. Centennial will take it. Reese Littlefield comes over. And the Chisago Lakes fans making the call for the refs. Offside as Centennial not communicating well. So they've got an EMO opportunity right here, do the Wildcats. And a real chance is Olsen. Gives for Reedy. Meelan up top for Olsen, a one-handed catch. I don't know how he did that. He's had some impressive stick skill demonstrations today. Everson comes over and lays the wood to Nick Helen. Fed in front looking for Reedy, and it's picked off by Lechner. Lechner doing ring around the rosy, and then nearly turns it over. Reese Littlefield trying to keep it in play. Meelan hot on his heels, and Littlefield gets it over. This time Centennial's onside. Scramble situation back to Chisago Lakes, and now it is offside. This time I think it's on the Wildcats. Blythe, what did you see there? That was a wild sequence of events.
Yeah, I feel like for me, when I was looking back, it's like, gosh, you just think about these guys, what's at stake for them, and you think about some of these little errors that happen, and you're like, okay, could this change the trajectory? Does this do any impact on these guys? But again, I don't know, as they get set to take on the Cougars coming at them, they're definitely going to have to make another big stop.
Sammy Rodriguez from Noah Berger to Carls. I can tell you that it is hard to stop your momentum if you're going full bore, and you have to stop at that midfield line to stay on side.
Nope,
Out top for Rodriguez, and he makes the save. Scooped up though, good pressure. Berger backs it out. Yeah, like you were saying, Blythe.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't imagine being able to stop sometimes. I know myself, just what that's looked like. I haven't ever physically had to in a split second like that.
Yeah,
but
you just have to play it like the floor is lava or
Yeah,
is
exactly.
an imaginary line at midfield. Adams behind for Sherman at X.
But I've torn both my ACLs, so I think mentally sometimes it's just stop on a dime. You're always like, ah, I don't like thinking about it.
Adams off the post and out of play, but I believe Sherman was closest to it. I didn't know you torn both your ACLs.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Oof,
my
oof.
goodness.
First one was 8th grade, which is crazy, and second one was junior year of college. So
wow.
Ugh.
Sherman somehow picks out the upper 90 from a sharp angle. All he needs is a step. He's got a hat trick tonight. Back to a 5-goal lead for Centennial.
Yeah, Centennial, they have had those moments of just really, you know, Chisago Lakes has started to take it to them. Like, maybe do they have any momentum? They don't know. But Centennial has stayed consistent throughout this game, and they've been able to get some tremendous goals.
Roll Sherman, it's all he does is score highlight reel goals. He just needs a step as the false start gives it to the Wildcats.
He's just a sophomore too, Bill, so it's exciting to think about this Cougar program in the next few years.
Well, he's the next Division I bound star for Centennial. Nice move by Lassner, and he shoots it wide. Lechner trying to get there first in an all-out race with Reedy, and he doesn't win it. But you have to admire the hustle from the senior netminder. Which one hurt worse?
That's tough. That's so tough. Maybe 8th grade. They didn't know as much. I feel like surgery did not go as smoothly as it did in junior year.
Wow.
They learned so much in that span of time.
In that 4 years. Reedy's shot goes wide, covered by the Wildcats.
More so just with any injury, like a lot of things, like you need to keep things moving and keeping those other muscles rocking and rolling so they're ready after surgery.
Nice save by Lechner on Hunter House. Gets it to Noah Berger, one-man clearing crew. Wrap check attempted by Max Olson, but Berger gets a touch and goes way back to AJ Carls. Berger watched by Helland. He wheels away. I'm going to watch him extra close after the second quarter he had, in which he scored 4 goals. Part of an 8-goal outburst for the Cougars. Berger, left-hand cradle, bounce shot. This time it's saved nicely by Brett Zaruba. Chisago Lakes in transition, a little sloppy with the ball handling, but Willman gets it. Big Jake Willman, watched by Matt Everson. Everson, not often he's smaller than the guy he's defending, but he is in this case. Lechner nearly had it stolen by Milan. Lechner, one of the most roaming goalies you'll ever see on the lacrosse field. Makes for it's a very high wire act he does.
Yeah, they're gonna miss him next year. Crazy, both goaltenders on these teams are seniors, so we'll have to regroup from that next year.
Yeah, and you can't take for granted the value of a good goaltender. Adams backs it out. Scored the first goal for Centennial tonight. Just about midway through this third quarter. Still a 5-goal lead for Centennial. AJ Carls, unsettled situation. Gets all the way through, and Rodriguez scoops it up on the far side of the box. Centennial looking to avenge a 12-11 upset loss to these Wildcats in the semifinals of Section 7 last year. Carl still with it. Rodriguez. trying to direct traffic. Centennial being very deliberate in this possession. Have not been told to keep it in yet.
And this is where the defense, they're gonna need to be communicating, like Coach Norby was saying. They've been working on this season.
Yeah, who's got the slide, who's got the second slide, which is almost as important. Refs will tell him to keep it in the box here soon. Sherman working his way behind X. He's gonna try another tight angle. He will, but he shoots that one wide. Sherman with 3 goals and 2 assists, 5 points to lead all scorers tonight. Re-entered by Adams. His possession's gone on about 2.5 minutes. Adams tries to hit a cutting Rodriguez. Instead, Hermanson will wind and fire and score! Kai Hermanson. Not your typical goal scorer, but the junior midi, if you don't step to him, shows he can hurt you.
What I like about this goal is that the Cougars, they were able to use some clock, and that's exactly what they want to do. They have this big lead. How can you just continue to wind the clock down and still score yet another one? It's just going to make Chisago Lakes have a very tough time trying to make sure that they stay in this game.
That goal coming 4 minutes after the last goal for Centennial. This is their largest lead of the game, 12-6. This is a Centennial, or Chisago Lakes offense that put up 18 against Spring Lake Park. Lechner with another fine effort to make the save. And held that pretty high potent Spring Lake Park offense to just 3 goals. You know, very dominating semifinal win. But Centennial has been a team on a mission as they look to pick up their 14th win of the season and enter state with a bit of momentum. Willman gets his hands free and uses that one past the right post. Stops the clock with 3:47 remaining in the third.
You know, it puts that chip on your shoulder knowing this team shut down your season last year, and I think the Cougars have responded quite well knowing that fact.
Olsen gets his hands free and again can't kick out the net. Lechner's hustling out a goal, but he's got to get back into it. As Chisago Lakes has covered it well behind. Inside roll into the crease, flags fly, it's going to be a push. Little extracurriculars after the whistle. And Lechner has to go off. So it's the backup netminder in there for Centennial for a play. I think Lechner's going to be whistled for the infraction. It's going to be Carson Bednar, the junior, in goal for Centennial. Reese Littlefield and Evan Lechner on their knees in the box. I know they tell you to take a knee in the box, but I want someone to do like Warrior One for the duration of a penalty sometime. Can I do this?
It's
Can I
like
do
those
this?
workout tapes and they're like, okay, but now do this if you wanted more of a workout.
That's right. It's like hard, harder, hardest.
Yeah.
Officials are talking to John Beach and sorting things out. to action.
Yeah, they got the perfect theme music for this moment as we wait. Jeopardy this season, though, has been quite nuts. I don't know if you've watched any of it, but we've had some people who had like the longest streaks ever, it seems like.
It'll start in the stick of Maddox Olson as Lechner, both Centennial players whistled for the infraction. There's a shot that goes wide. And I'd have to think, Blythe, if you're Chisago Lakes, you just want to get the ball on goal and test Carson Bednar.
Yeah, it's one of those where you don't need to overly rush it because you still have some time, but you need to start getting that momentum going, though, and at least get one here.
Work it around, low shot, they score. Jacob Willman, his 41st of the season. And that was the goal they needed. The penalty releases, and Lechner goes in. That's a tough shot to stop coming off the bench cold. First goal of the night for Jacob Willman, the St. Leo-bound attackman.
Wildcats keeping things interesting, though, in this game. They are close enough that they can certainly get back into it if things go their way.
The team has scored 2 goals in this third quarter. Chisago Lakes trying to add to that here late in the third quarter. Willman for Milan. Middle for Bergquist. I would think if you're Bergquist, you want to take advantage of the fact that you have some real size advantage here against the speedy Cooper Larson. He's going to take him out and dodge down the alley. Bergquist gets his hands free. Lechner makes the save off the cross of his stick. Willman. Back to Helland. Olson gets his hands free right into the basket of Evan Lechner. You need traffic in front of Lechner to beat him from there.
Yeah, you saw a few of those guys, trying to be that difference maker, and I think sometimes that happens to teams. They get down by a few and they want to be the one to help their team get back. But almost it seems like Chisago Lakes needed to use each other more. They each wanted to take that opportunity instead of maybe dishing to somebody that could have got it done. Not saying that they couldn't on any moment make that same goal, but I just think if they would have used each other in front of net, create some confusion and made it a little harder for the goalie.
No, it's a good point. Are they pressing, right? Are they searching? Are they trying to be the hero when they just need to chip away at this lead? Jay Carls over for Rodriguez with 1:20 and counting left. Rodriguez to Berger down the middle, and his shot swallowed up by big number 21, Zach Carlson. Here comes Chisago Lakes in transition. Didn't even reach the net of Brett Zaruba. 1 minute to go in the third. Centennial has at least held serve in this third quarter. Down the alley, and somehow he got the shot off. That was being bothered from behind by Jake Robinson, but back to work with Maddox Olson. Olson watched by the physical defense of Sammy Rodriguez. Rodriguez, just a wily veteran. He's been playing and contributing to the Centennial team since he was a freshman. Bergquist.
Yeah, and it's good they have them because a lot of the Centennial defense is new and they're building this year to make sure they're all on the same page.
Chisago Lakes fans getting impatient here with just 10 seconds remaining. Olson over to Bergquist. He needs to get a shot off, and that bouncing shot never had a chance as it goes out of bounds on the far side with just 1.2 seconds left. Reedy at the gun. Lechner tips it up. Time expires here in the third quarter. 2 goals apiece for both teams. And we head to the fourth and final quarter with Centennial in enjoying a 5-goal lead over Chisago Lakes. 12-7. Trip to the state tournament at stake here on North Metro TV.
North Metro TV News is your source for local stories. Highlighting the issues in your community, we bring you the news that's closer to home. Join us as we explore the stories all around us, every day at 2:30, 6:30, and 10:30.
Back here at Cougar Stadium for the 4th and final period of regulation here in the Section 7A final. Bill Hupp and Blythe Whaley on North Metro TV. Thanks for joining us. 1 and 2 seeds doing battle here in Section 7, a rematch of last year's Section semifinal game where Chisago Lakes upset Centennial 12-11 on the way to their first state tournament in program history. Blythe told you earlier, just a program started in 2018, so already tremendous amount of success under head coach Mark Norby.
Yeah, Coach Norby was saying a lot of these guys friends, some of them even going to the graduation of one of the seniors on his team, playing bags together. So these guys are quite friendly off the field, and not all the plays would make you think that.
Oh, between Centennial and Chisago Lakes. Yeah, well, yeah, a lot of the club programs, you end up playing on the same clubs and stuff, so sure we'll see some hugs after the game. That one bounced into the stick of Evan Lechner. Centennial has a 5-goal lead, the same margin of lead that they enjoyed after the first half, but you can bet they'd like to add to it. Berger speeds into the offensive zone, takes a touch and backs it out. It's so funny to just see the hustle to get into the box, did a touch, and then they stop and reset things, and it looks like basketball.
Yeah, everyone settle in.
Sammy Rodriguez isolated at the top, driving downhill, cross face dodge, scores! Sammy Rodriguez makes it a 6-goal lead for Centennial.
Now you got to think about it as we get further into this game. Could that be the exclamation point, the one that just makes it very tough to come back? Just, you know, the time that's left on the clock is the time that's left in this one, and so easily it's just going to make it even more difficult for the Wildcats. But Cougars, how can you continue this momentum, keep that possession up, and make it tough on the Wildcats?
Rodriguez now 2 goals and an assist tonight. Combined, that makes it 7 goals and 2 assists in the semifinals and finals. And a great job of defense there by Gorlitz. Gets it to the speedy Cooper Larson. Hermanson backs it out, and now Centennial will work some clock. Chisago Lakes needs to get the ball, and a flag flies as I think Chisago Lakes may have too many on the field. Yep. Offside. They finally noticed it and flagged it. So back with Brohl, Sherman at X. Adams ducks his shoulder. turnover there gives Centennial the ball, and so Larson certainly wanted to continue the play, but ultimately it's an EMO for the Cougars with 9:40 to go in the game and a 13-7 lead. Ball will start at the stick of A.J. Carls on the far side. Roll Sherman, gonna try another tight angle shot. Sherman out high looking for Rodriguez. All the way through, who's first to it? Chisago Lakes scoops it up. And I'm not sure why they pulled that one back. Neither are the Chisago Lakes parents. It allows Centennial to set their defense as Bergquist has his pocket picked by Rodriguez. Sammy Rodriguez for Brol Sherman. Tried to do one of his, he loves that move, kind of dipping it underneath and dropping the shoulder and getting inside position, but he wisely decides to back it out and continue. I was going to say continue the EMO, but we're back to full strength. Berger goes up top for Rodriguez.
Yeah, sometimes it's interesting. You can think about one move. Like if you really have one move really honed in on, it can continue to work until they stop you. How do you continue to use it? And you've seen him do it time and time again because these guys haven't been able to stop him.
Berger dodging from the top against Bergquist. Gets his hands free, and that whizzes wide. 8:23 to go. Spot in the state tournament for 2022 on the line. They'll invert with Berger at X. And he'll take the short stick behind. Berger behind X. Tight angle shot. And they're going to say push with possession as Berger was knocked into the crease. Timeout on the field. .802 remaining fourth quarter, 13-7 the score, and really Centennial has looked like the better team all evening, right?
Yeah, and especially I feel like when you think about just how they're doing in this final quarter, because you're thinking about how they're ending it, and you think about these guys, oftentimes, you know, the emotions start to set in. So you think about the seniors on the other team, what that's going to do to them being in this deficit. So that the Cougars have still continued to prevail in this final part of the game, it's only made, I think, it harder on the Wildcats just to mentally get back to be able to step into it and try to make that comeback run that they need to if they're going to try to tie this up.
And what I think that probably is the veteran savvy of Centennial.
Yeah.
I mean, you look how many seniors they have, Berger and Everson and Sammy Rodriguez and A.J. Carls. A lot of guys out there, Evan Lechner. They have a lot of seniors, Reese Littlefield. They have a lot of seniors that can kind of temper the emotion of the other team because they have the poise and savvy. I mean, this is a Centennial team that made the state tournament early and often. Obviously, 2020 was canceled, so Sammy Rodriguez, I can remember him contributing as a freshman when they made state 2 years in a row. And then 2020, obviously, the season was canceled, and last season, actually, now that I think about it, 2020, the season was canceled, and then 2021 is when they were upset by this Wildcats team. So there's certainly a measure of revenge for Centennial.
Yeah, and of course, when it's your senior year, you want to be able to end at least your run in that state tournament. Wherever it is, of course, who doesn't want to win it all, but at least you want to get there to extend that season just that little bit more.
Yeah, section title, nothing to sneeze at. Kai Hermanson. Centennial in no hurry. Here's Burl Sherman, gets it back to Rodriguez. Adams behind the Berger at X. They've got Berger back there against the short stick. Swim dodge for Berger. Berger, question mark dodge, didn't shoot it. He'll peel around, bounce shot, score! 5th goal of the game for Noah Berger, the Lindenwood College bound senior. He just absolutely worked the defensive Chisago Lakes behind the goal, curled around, a little wraparound goal for Noah Berger, 14-7, and with 7:14 left, that might just do it.
The adrenaline flying when you're a senior, and especially for him, you know, you want to have that season end right, and he's doing everything that he can to make that happen. And right now, I mean, to think about how many goals he has in just this game alone just proves how awesome he's been able to do for this Cougar squad.
His first goal of the second half, but his 5th for the game as a flag comes out. And now Chisago Lakes will try to go to work. Milan with a bounce shot, that goes wide. Slash the call. I believe that's going to be Gorlitz who takes a knee. What was, did you have the same number in soccer and all sports? Or
oh, no, you can't do that. Just kidding. Yeah.
You definitely can.
Yeah, no, in basketball, I was a lot of times 5. Like 5 was
okay.
A great number, but soccer, I had a very controversial number, but I liked it, so I stayed with it. But it was 1, because a lot of goalies have 1 if they're not 0 or 00 or whatever. Sometimes you'll see a big number for a goalie, but most of the time it's like 1 or 0-1. But I was 1, and I was up top. I was a forward, so.
The rare 1 forward.
But it's the smallest jersey. So, I mean, if you look at me, not the biggest
that's
person
fair.
around. But, yeah, so that's how it started anyway, and then continued to keep that trend going.
Chisago Lakes EMO, good conversion on Willman as he caught it in traffic. It's loose on the deck. Everson trying to get there. He leads the team in ground balls. Fight for it in front of the Chisago Lakes bench. And ultimately, Reedy comes away with it. Reedy fires a shot. Lechner hustling after it. He'll get there first. Lechner jumping for joy after earning possession for Centennial. Now you see the sun starting to set again. Just a beautiful night for lacrosse here. Upper or lower 70s, I should say. Very few clouds. It's a beautiful night so far for Centennial, as they have been pretty thorough in their domination. The seeding's very much holding in this section. Cougars looking very much like the top seed that they are. Noah Berger, 4 goals in the first half, 1 in the second half. Sherman dancing at X. You can just see a kid's stick skills pretty quickly. As, not sure if that was an illegal screen or what, but Centennial turns it over to the Wildcats. Now the speed of Maddox Olson. Any guys throwing legit stick fakes are pretty talented. Milan on a hat trick. He takes it behind to X. Olsen. Goal line extended. Reedy ducks inside, and Lechner met him at the top of the goal.
These are the moments that the Wildcats, they're going to start swarming. So how, if you're the goalie and all the defenders, how can you make sure that you're ready for them to come at you in these final minutes?
I mean, it was an impressive effort, no doubt, from Willman, or from Reedy, I think. But Lechner met him and stuffed him. He tried to power it just underneath that crossbar. Inside of 4 minutes to go in the game, a 14-7 Centennial lead over Chisago Lakes here. Cougar Stadium, the site of this Section 7A final.
Yeah, you think about the defense, they're going to have to force the Cougars to really speed up their game. This clock is a major factor with how many goals the Wildcats are down by.
Berger looking for goal number 6. He's denied. Sherman comes in to scoop it up. Joel Sherman trying to get his defender hung up in that net. Instead, it's back at the top with Rodriguez. Attacking downhill. Ward tried to shoot the gap and get it over to Adams. And we've got a whistle, and it's a Centennial ball. Certainly the Chisago Lakes fans wanted a penalty.
Yeah, when you think of just how little time is left, a missed call or anything could be quite tough just when you thought maybe you could have got something from it.
7 goals, even in lacrosse, tough deficit to overcome in the last 3 minutes. Berger walks it behind net, and now Centennial will try to bleed this clock.
And that's the exact game plan that if I was coaching them, I would say the same thing. How can you use the clock? You don't need to force anything. His possession is the biggest thing right now.
Rodriguez puts his foot in the ground, flips it across to Ward. Adams. The top for Rodriguez again. So quick with that cross face dodge. Berger has a step. Tries to split defenders. Probably should have given it to Sherman instead. He hit it when it was in the crease. So, minute 36 remaining in the game. 14-7 our score. Cougars going to pick up their 14th win of the season. Chisago Lakes, meanwhile, will see their year end at 12-4, but another double-digit win campaign for Coach Mark Norby, and teams like Duluth and Chisago Lakes, better than people think. Trying to feed it to Meelan on the doorstep. Scooped up, minute 12 left. Everson, great outlet pass, finds its way to Hermanson. A minute to go. Brock Carls holds at the top. Centennial's faithful rise and cheer as they sense another trip to the state tournament for their Cougars. It'll be interesting to see if Centennial ends up getting seeded, Brian.
Yeah, and you just think what they came into today, and I feel like they fully executed that game plan, get that lead, and they did it in the second, and they really haven't looked back since.
Scooped up. Bergquist on the doorstep. Willman trying to get one last goal. Fanned on the shot, 12 seconds left. Berger still playing defense. The ball will end up in his stick as he tosses it skyward. For the first time since 2019, the Centennial Cougars are heading back to the Boys Lacrosse State Tournament. They are your Section 7A champions.
What a run for the Cougars tonight. Like I said, in the second, they really just showed themselves and proved that they wanted it all, and they pushed ahead that 5-goal lead, and they won it with even more than that.
Centennial 14-7 victors on their home field here at Cougar Stadium. The top seed holds serve. They roll through the quarterfinals, semifinals, and even win comfortably in the title game. And after going to the state tournament every year from 2017 to 2019, they're back in the state tournament again here in 2022, thanks to 5 goals from Noah Berger and 5 points, 3 goals and 2 assists from sophomore sensation Brol Sherman. Blythe, final thoughts tonight here from Cougar Stadium.
Yeah, the Cougars have really built that confidence as they shove forward into the state tournament. How can they use that to have a great run coming up? Be excited. It's awesome that you made it to the state tournament, but use this as fuel to really have a great performance in these upcoming games.
Yeah, certainly with this senior class, 3 Division I commits, Centennial hoping to win a game at the state tournament and make some noise in Stillwater and or Roseville.
Here on the field with Noah Berger and Sam Rodriguez, 2 seniors from this Cougar team who just punched their ticket to the state tournament. You guys, first off, of course, congrats. But today, you both went on a tear, helped your team really surge ahead. We're going to start with you, Noah. What was the difference maker today? How did you get your team riled up to get these goals in?
I think last year we kind of lost confidence and slowed down throughout the game, and then today we just kind of kept the momentum going and never really took any breaks.
Yeah, and I think for you also, of course, Sam, that you helped your team in not only today's game, you had the semifinal, that you had a fantastic game as well. What has been maybe why you've been able to peak at such a great time to get these goals in?
I just think we have a way bigger pride to play for the 2020 class and the 21 class that wasn't able to make it here, and I think it's just
pushing us forward.
Yeah, pushing us forward for the people that couldn't make it here.
Yeah, so last year, of course, this team, they knocked you guys out in this section playoffs. And what did that mean to you guys coming into today's game? How are you getting fueled up and amping up for it?
It was kind of just on our mind all season. We treated it as kind of a revenge tour, and we're kind of glad that we completed the comeback.
In today's game, what was Coach telling you, Sam, before you headed into it?
Just play the game for the 2020 class and people who couldn't make it here. But I don't know, it's just redemption.
And as you head to state, what are you most excited about? What do you guys think that you're going to be able to do?
First place, baby.
Let's go!
Let's go!
You guys, both of you are going to play next year on that big stage, Division I athletes coming up. What are you looking forward to in just your career after Cougars lacrosse?
Well, we're in the same conference, so playing him again next year.
That's pretty fun. Sam, who do you think is going to win that first matchup?
I don't know. We'll have to see. To be determined.
Well, first off, we're just going to cheer our Cougars into the state tournament, you guys. Good luck. Congrats. It took all of you to make it happen. Way to go, guys.
Let's go, boys.
Yeah. Back to you, Bill. The Cougars pushing their way to the state tournament.
So that'll do it here tonight for us in Circle Pines. For producer Sam, cameraman Rob, and my color commentator Blythe Whaley, I'm Bill Hupp saying good night from Cougar Stadium. Centennial advances to another boys lacrosse state tournament with a 14-7 victory over Chisago Lakes. Thanks for watching this presentation of high school sports on North Metro TV.